'Tis I. Hello. It is me. Oh, we lost some, alas. Oh god. Still have Vaporeon Breeder 69 in my most recent follows. Absolute Chad. Some king shit. But, yes, we're back to working on, dungeon things. Like a dungeon adventure I've been working on for a long old time now. Oh, greetings. I gotta have a drink. Now, I wasn't 100% sure where I was gonna go with this today. I figured I was probably gonna just wing it, which is generally how I conduct myself all the time. But I had a really good idea when I went downstairs to go make tea. And I think that's what we're going to work on today, because I came up with a potentially very interesting selling point for this adventure that I think could be kind of cool. And I will explain it shortly. So, oh shit, no, I don't want to do that. I forgot there was another one there. Let's unbold things. Okay. So, this is a new level 1. So, my plan is customizable traps and customizable antagonists. Here is the thought. Here is the. Actually, I think before I get into that too much, I'm gonna sort of explain where I've been so far for anyone hasn't been for the last couple streams, because this sort of like, there's not a lot here at the moment. That's mostly it's all notes, and it's slowly gonna grow over the course of next couple of weeks or what have you. I'm probably not gonna be doing like big writing streams or what have you. Like, maybe I will, like, I don't know. It's not necessarily something I'm interested in doing per se, is like a stream where I just sit down and like write stuff, because that's not all that interesting. There's not a lot of design going into that. It's just writing, and that's, I don't know. I mean, it's a category on Twitch, so people must watch it. So I don't know. I'll have a think about it. But this is an adventure that I and the old goat who's in here now have been working on and off for 6 months at this point. And it's gone through like sort of reimaginings and rewrites because we ran into a lot of problems with the original version. And this is sort of the newest version that I'm working on. This is probably iteration 3, maybe 4, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm going to say 3 because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's no other reason. But basically what I did in the first week was I went in and I determined the exact kind of themes that I wanted. And I defined what the different levels of the dungeon are. This is the dungeon. It's called Milimnir. It's about as difficult to pronounce as it looks. It's Milimnir. There's a lot of eyes, a lot of version 3.78, something like that. And basically what I've done is sort of made 3 distinct levels of dungeon. There's the top level, which is less of a dungeon and more of like an area. It's not so much like a concrete thing. I'm not sure how we're going to map it. That could be interesting, challenging more so. And then from there, you can go down into a second level of the dungeon, which is Yeah, also that, yeah. It took me a while to learn how to spell it. Now I can do it off the top of my head. I can spell Millimnir with my eyes closed now, but that's because I've done it so many bloody times. Oh, just gonna... So, yeah, the second level, you're sort of in like an old sewer system, and there's a crazy old dragon down here, who's blind and wingless, and she's like trying to claw after you through this sewer system, and you've got to like try and like tuck yourself away in like a little alcove, or you gotta try and hide from a dragon, which is challenging because dragons have a very good perception. Ah, yes. Yes, I say, welcome in, Kitty, welcome in. So, and then level 3 is a more traditional dungeon with traps in all caps, because, of course there is. So, my idea for today is to develop some customizable traps and customizable antagonists, because in the original adventure, your main sort of rivals stroke potential allies are a squadron of sort of 5th to 6th level tabaxi. There is, I believe, a rogue, a wizard, a paladin, and I don't remember who the last one is. To be like a fighter, I think? I don't remember off the top of my head. But there are 4 tabaxi, and they are pretty interesting. But one of the main things is this place is like, people are trying to get into Millimnir, right? People are trying to get into this dungeon to find the treasure, because there is a treasure of some description within. We will have a multiple quest prompts, sort of plot hooks as to why the characters are in this dungeon. You know, they're hired by somebody to discover the secrets of Millimnir and why it was destroyed, to they're hired to return something to the central tomb of Dastina, or they just come because they want the treasure. Any one of those things, and all of them will probably be within the book itself. There are other people who are coming here for their own reasons, mostly for the treasure, and some of them are dead, and some of them are on their way down. And one, maybe even 2 of those groups are and can be interacted with in the dungeon. That's what I want. Like, the traps will just be like, there is a group of like 4 corridor traps, a group of like 3 room traps, and a group of like 5 miscellaneous traps, and there'll be, a T will be marked on the map, and then in the area it'll say, oh yeah, for this trap use either a corridor or miscellaneous trap of your choice. Detailed in Appendix C or whatever. Something like that I think would be kind of neat. On top of that, the antagonists, you have characters who are coming into the tomb for their own personal reasons. Maybe there's a whole squad of like competent adventurers. Maybe like one of them is 100% going to be like a dude and his shield guardian, or whatever that monster is called. I think it's a shield guardian. It's like the construct of some variety. Those original tabaxi from the original adventure, that is the idea. So that when there is a sort of a scripted interaction with them that appears in the adventure, it will give the GM guidance for how each different adventuring antagonist would handle this situation. But how exactly that's going to go, not sure. But I definitely want the customizable antagonist thing, because I think that would be really cool. Just stretching a bit. They all need to be antagonistic in some way as well, so that the players don't just immediately team up with them, because otherwise they would just do that every time, and we don't necessarily want them to do that, because that will cause problems. Problems in the sense of, oh wait, there's like, there's a party of like 6 level 6 adventurers, and then like this gnome and his shield guardian. That's maybe a bit much for this whole last dungeon, you know? But we'll get to that hurdle when we get there. God, I sure wish, like, when you open up the viewer list out of curiosity to see if anyone you know is in your chat, I really wish it would just, like, not show the 10 million bots. Because I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see at least 6 bots. And for all I know, maybe 7. Because for all I know, one of these could be a real person, and I would have no way of knowing. Because, I don't know. They very clearly know how to count active viewers. Yet they show literally every single person who's ever been in your chat in the users in chat section. It really annoys me. But the customizable traps thing, I think, is maybe something we can nix, but I think it'd be kind of neat. But the customizable antagonists, I think, could be super awesome. So each antagonist has their own goals within Millimnia. Most aren't evil. Yeah, we should probably let's make this a bullet pointed list. That probably makes a lot more sense. Most aren't evil. There'll be an evil one, obviously, but not all of them. I guess that's kind of the... So, the Tabaxi. They make up a very traditional adventuring group. And fill its core roles. Let me just go find my notes on these, or like my written stuff for these characters, because I have it down somewhere. I forget where specifically, but I'll just go grab them. Because it should be a pretty easy job to like. Well, no, it's not even a case of copying them. It's just a case of like going and looking at them and like finding their names. I know there's one called Rains in Summer. That much I remember. Oh, hang on, no, I have the PDF saved, don't I? Yeah, I'll go to the file folder and open up the old PDF. Probably be easier to look in there than on GM Binder. Right. Here we go. So, the Tabaxi... Yeah, they're sort of, So yeah, I'll sort of like, Actually, no, I can just share my screen. What am I doing? Here we go. So, whilst they have no name for their little band, much to Robin's dismay, this colourful cast of outcasts and wanderers are close friends, searching the world for purpose and treasure. Robin, their leader, has dragged them along on this venture after discovering a lead in the city of Silvery Moon. He and his companions each have their reasons for this journey, but they're going to stick together on it no matter what. So we have Bathes in Sunlight, who is a paladin. We have Flickering Fire, who is a wizard. There is Flight of a Robin, who is their leader, and he is a very charismatic rogue. And Rain in Summer is a fighter. And these dudes are, they're sort of written in characters. They're meant to be very believable. And I'm looking back on them, I'm still pretty happy with how they came out. They seem really cool. Bathes in Sunlight, a warrior priest to a heretical god of sunlight. Bathes wanders the world seeking riches to use in building his church. He is a zealous man with strong ideals and a wicked battle axe, all of which he wields in battle to protect his fellow treasure hunters. Bathes is a tall, well-built man with amber fur and orange eyes. He wears fine splint armor and holds a shield bearing the symbol of his deity. Ideal, all beliefs and peoples are to be respected. Bond, my god shall know a fine chapel if it's the last thing I do. Flaw, my zealotry often hinders my relationships. Flight of a Robin. No, Flickering Fire, a young pyromancer. Fire was banished from her home after a fiery disaster. She insisted it wasn't her, but no one believed her, not even her family. She joined up with Robin and the others because she saw kinship with them, and has stayed close to their side ever since. Fire is of average height and svelte build. She's thin. That's what svelte means. It's a weird word. With dark striped fur and eyes of two different colours. The left is green and the right is orange. A jittery, skittish young woman, Fire is always looking over her shoulder, but can babble endlessly about near any subject. Ideal, everyone deserves a second chance. Bond, my friends are the only thing I have left in the world, and I'm terrified of losing them. Flaw, I let fear rule me and my every action. And Robin doesn't have... They must have accidentally been cut. They'll be in the GM binder file somewhere. I probably just forgot to put them in here. Flight of a Robin, a great thief and leader of the group. Robin is an artist with both a lockpick and a blade. He presents himself as a calm man, always ready to crack a joke, but in truth he is always on edge, for he has many enemies in many places. Robin is a short, thin man with dark fur and deep green eyes. He wears fine leather armor and wields a fencing blade with a fine panache. Rain in Summer, the group muscle and Robin's personal bodyguard. Rain is a powerful woman of few words. Even in a fight, she utters barely a sound as she cleaves through her enemies. She says she hates Robin and she's only working for the pay, but she cares for the man at heart. Rain is an enormous woman, larger than all the others, with white fur and bright yellow eyes. She wields an enormous greatsword. She's a Johnny. Is kind of the... She's a Johnny if a Johnny had the personality of, like, Khan. No, Khan's probably the wrong one. But, Ideal, brotherhood is everything. Bond, my companions are my charge, they will suffer no harm. Flaw, I am too willing to throw myself into harm's way. So, realistically, she could be rewritten as barbarian, that'd probably work quite well, but I kind of like the fighter angle instead, you know? But yeah, they all have, like, believable class features. They all have, like, their tabaxi racial traits. They all have, feline agility. Like, Bathes has Divine Smite and Lay on Hands. He knows some paladin spells. Fire has Sculpt spells because she's an evocation wizard. The others don't have subclasses because... Actually, no, Rain does. She has improved critical. Yeah, Robin has Uncanny Dodge and Sneak Attack and Cunning Action. So, like, these kinds of characters, obviously, these these ones will be like the main dudes, right? They'll be the most prevalent, I suppose. But the rest of the rest of the dungeon, or the rest of the antagonists, may not be like 4 people. They'll be like 3 people, or 2 people, or even just 1 person. Like one really powerful dude who's like on their own. I think that could be really cool. Whoa. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Whoops. I meant to go. I sneezed. You missed it in the transition, but I sneezed and I clicked on the wrong thing. Very tired. I went to bed obscenely late last night again. I may as well copy the text from this, actually. It's probably an okay idea. I'll certainly copy the text from the main guys and then put their names in to like put their sort of main text in later on. Always fun, always fun. Flight of a Robin. And Rain in Summer. So I suppose what I sort of want to do today is come up with a whole bunch of like cool sort of like cool potential ideas is sort of my primary objective today, I suppose. So Gnome and Sentry. So a gnomish illusion wizard. With a shield guardian. I like this idea. I have a feeling, like, I can't remember if I am, but I may be stealing this idea from Ruben, but I don't remember. It's a good idea either way, so I like the idea of having some drow down here. Some drow. 3 of them, either 3 ladies aligned to Lolth, or 2 dudes and a lady who hate Lolth. Probably the latter, because people aren't too much of fans of like the traditional drow anymore. I personally still think they're really cool, but I think sort of the not like I guess like hypercoding the drow as evil is, you know, it's fair enough, you know. This but yeah, I'll probably do the latter one, because I think there's I thought I had an idea there, but nah. I'm gonna stick with probably with 2 dudes and a lady who hate Lolth. How could you forget? Phil is a powerful entity, a being of immense strength. His power knows no bounds. But some drow are here. I kind of like the idea of some kind of like big, like one powerful thing. I don't know what. Big dude. Big. Scary. Oh no. Demon. Devil. Knight. Yes. I kind of like the yes option here. And as funny as that is, like, just to say, some kind of, like, demonic knight. That sounds pretty sick. So, I'm potentially very on board. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Ah, shit. Demon Knight Lady. Looking to cure herself of a demonic infection. She's turning evil. Probably. Oh, looking to cure herself? To cure herself. Yeah. Demon Knight Lady, she's looking to cure herself of a demonic infection. I like this. This is cool. This works. It's strong. It's good shit. So this is a strong one. I like this one a lot. This could be really cool. The Tabaxi I'm definitely going to keep from the original one. They worked really, really well. The Gnome and his Sentry. The Shield Guardian. He wants to study the magical artifact he believes the treasure to be. That makes sense. Some Drow. They want to discover some ancient lore. They believe the treasure to be a weapon capable of destroying Loth's center of worship, Menzo Berenzan. I believe I spelled that right on the first try. Let me, hang on. Menzo Berenzan. Aha! I did it. I spelled Menzo Berenzan correctly on the first try. I will give myself a little pat on the old back there, because as a display of power, if ever there was one. No one has achieved such a feat as I. Kiss my ring. I don't have one. Okay, I'm gonna stop sort of like sarcastically gloating now, because it stopped being funny. If it ever was at all. I'm gonna carry on now. Yeah, I like these ones. These are cool. I guess they need a... Did they need a god to serve? No. No, they're like iconoclasts. Ooh, that's yeah, Drow iconoclasts. Yeah, that's cool. That works well. I'm a color me a flan of these guys. Demon Lady could be really cool. Like make her real scary, kind of like Mr. X or something. Just, you know, with armor on. I guess it's probably make her look like a Dark Souls boss. Is sort of my angle, right? So the idea is that certain, like at certain points in the adventure, certain rooms will have already been sort of like bypassed or completed by whoever their antagonist is. And all of these sections, depending on how many antagonists there ends up being, we've got 4 at the moment, all of which I think are pretty cool. I think I want to do. I think 5 is a nice sort of like, because 5 is an honorary even number, and I would argue is the evenest of all of the numbers, even though it's not an even number. But 5 is like, honestly, 3 is also an honorary even number. You know, hell, 3 and 5 are more even than 2. That's my galaxy brain take for today. That's if you've learned anything from this, is that, well, 5 and 3, they're more even numbers than 2 is. I know I have great words of wisdom that you should take to heart. But regardless, So yeah, the idea is if you sort of like enter into a room and there's like there's like a dead mummy on the floor or something, like for example, it's not necessarily the kind of thing that would be here, but like a mummy is like not a bad example. There's a dead mummy. If the tabaxi came through here, if they were to check it over for its wounds, it would have multiple stab wounds from several different weapons. It's partially burnt. You know, things like that. If it's the gnome and the sentry, it's been battered and beaten by the sentry. If it was the iconoclasts, it's been stabbed with long sort of like it's had like dozens of slashes from scimitar weapons or something. And if it's the demon lady, it's just been cleaved right down the middle, like it's perfectly in two, and it's in 2 halves on the ground. But as for one more, I kind of just want to do like some humans, you know? So I'm not I changed that bot message yesterday because the previous one was far too threatening, and now it's just not funny. It's not funny. I'm real sad. I'm gonna change it after this and make it funny because I want to. But you can do that if you so choose. You can slap the old follow button or what have you. I think I'm at like, what am I at, 78? And get to 100 at some point maybe. That's the goal. Or I guess. Is there a goal? Not really. It's to do stuff. That's really more so the goal. But I like the idea of there being just like some humans, or just like a more assorted party of adventurers. Maybe the traditional like human, dwarf, and elf. You know, that could be kind of fun. But we kind of have the tabaxi filling that role. Okay, yeah. I'll say send it my way. I'll give it a look in a minute. What's it for? Because I'm very, very, very well versed in some classes and ranger. Okay, probably the class I'm the least versed in because I threw the base ranger in the garbage pretty much immediately when I started playing. Yeah, no, I'll take a look at it in a minute. I'm just sort of brainstorming some ideas for this at the moment. Yeah, we kind of have the tabaxi filling that sort of traditional role. as a okay. The Tabaxi filling that sort of traditional party dynamic where there is, there's a rogue, there's a wizard, there's a warrior, and then there's there's like a divine caster, an arcane caster, an upfront fighter, and sort of a tricksy fighter, right? That's kind of like realistically the stereotype, for lack of a better term. And it's a nice one, it's cool, it feels neat and tidy. So I'm not sure if I want to do that again. Maybe like an Ooh, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Let's link this in with good old Mix's Mysterious Mix. And add in... Actually, no, I was going to add in Emma Roxley, who is a character in Mix's Mysterious Mix, which you can see over here. I could use her, but she's not really antagonistic in any real way, so she kind of doesn't really fill that. Maybe it's someone here. It's someone who's here for like an actively noble cause, but they're just super cutthroat about it. Like, all of these people are here for, like the Tabaxi have the most neutral in that they're like, we're here for the treasure too. Like, we're gonna fight for the treasure. The gnome is like, I want to study the treasure. Like, he doesn't want the money. He just wants he wants to study it. The drow have like a very noble goal, and the demon lady has a personal goal. It's not necessarily noble, and it's not selfish either. But it's a very sort of personal goal. It falls outside of the realms of morality ultimately, for the most part anyway. So maybe someone who is just outright here for an entirely noble reason, but is not going to suffer anyone trying to get in their way and jeopardize their mission. So my thought is to cure a plague somewhere. There is supposedly a treasure here that can cure any ailment. And the city that they're from, which is from far, far away, is dying of this plague, maybe. Yeah, that works. I think that's cool. Cure Seeker. A small group looking to cure a plague in a distant land. Using the knowledge they can gain here. Yeah, say with that, I'll take a look at this Noble Hunter subclass. I'm getting Monster Hunter vibes from this. Like, as in, like, the Ranger subclass, the Monster Hunter. But, okay, right, screen capture. Right. Noble Hunters are rangers that work under royalty and nobility, guiding them and their armies through treacherous pathways. Their formal training in combat and magic grants them unique insights most rangers would overlook and makes them especially deadly. To them, the battlefield is their natural habitat, and they're the apex predator. Okay. So, Noble Hunter magic. Right. If you if you send me an edit link, I'll start suggesting some changes. If you whisper me an edit link before I start making any commentary or anything. But I'm just going to read through the thing first. When you choose this it's a battle insight, you have a unique way of finding and exploiting weaknesses that makes you incredibly deadly. That's fine. As best action, you can choose a creature you see within 60 feet of you and attempt a wisdom insight check and deception check. If you succeed the check, you learn 1 damage type the creature is vulnerable to. Okay, hang on, I'll copy this into like Notepad or whatever. So I would say, so Noble Hunter Magic. This is too wide of a list. This is you're giving rangers access to pretty much every single spell in the game with this. Every single 5th and lowest level spell. Because Cleric, Druid, and Wizard cover, I would wager... I think that's... Yeah, being able to pick one is probably fine, but I think even then it might be a bit of a stretch. Let me just, find out roughly how many spells that actually is, but I would wager a bet it is almost all of them. Minus Wizard, minus Ranger, minus Cleric, minus Druid. Oh, hang on, I can also mark off... It gives you the only spells left over. I think there's about 30 to 40 spells in the game, 1st to 5th level, that they just don't have out of a lot. There are only 49 of those spells of the 300. So yeah, they have access to... 96% of all of the spells. So... Right. Starting... When you choose this. When you choose this conclave at 3rd level, choose one of the following classes. Cleric, Druid, or Wizard. Cleric, I'm not really understanding. I'm not seeing the flavor in giving them Cleric. Druid and Wizard, I kind of get. Cleric, I don't particularly see. But I would personally cut it, but it's up to you there. Yeah, choose one of the following classes: Cleric, Druid, or Wizard. You learn 1 spell of your choice from the chosen class of a level in which you have slots. They count as you learn further spells at 5th, 9th, 13th, 17th level. Spells learnt this way count as ranger spells for you and do not count against the number of ranger spells you know. Battle Insight is neat, but this is unnecessary here. This is nowhere near powerful enough to warrant once per short or long rest. Creature Vulnerability, I could probably count on 2 hands the number of creatures that are vulnerable to a damage type. It's cool, but it's extremely limited. So If you succeed on the check, choose a damage type. Tells you whether the target is resistant, immune, or vulnerable. Vulnerable or regularly affected by the chosen damage type. Additionally, anytime you successfully hit the target with a weapon attack before the end of your next turn, it takes an additional 1d4 damage of the weapon's type. You may use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, regaining all expended uses. You complete a long rest. Formal training. Expertise is not like a written mechanic. So I will copy the text from expertise, the ability, because that's the text that should be being used here. You can provision a set of artisans, tools of your choice, and a skill of your choice. These guys get a lot up front, but it's not anything particularly obscene. Additional fighting style, we'll need to take this from champion, because generally speaking, the best way to go is to always try and stick. Like if you're using a feature that has known wording from something else, you should always try and use that wording as close as is applicable. Magical insight. You have learned to adapt your methodology. In addition, applies to spells you cast. Magical insight seems I don't think this works in the way that you want it to, and even then it is very underpowered. Methodology explaining weaknesses to your magic. Whenever you a creature under the effects of your battle, whenever you roll damage for a spell of your battle, insight suffers suffers 1d4 additional suffers damage from a spell you cast. That creature suffers 1d4 additional damage of the spell's type. I don't think this is... This does stack with Hunter's Mark, actually. Because my initial thought was this is not very good at all. But if it stacks with Hunter's Mark, that does make it pretty good, actually. Because then you're basically all you're doing is just doubling, like actively just doubling the amount of damage you put out. So that's actually like quite good, as opposed to actively very bad. Because generally as a ranger, like, I like, as someone who would go into this trying to make a powerful character, I would choose wizard, and I wouldn't learn any damaging spells, because I'm a ranger, I need to be shooting people. I would just learn a bunch of really good utility spells. Like, I would learn shield, misty step, haste, blink, and I don't know what else, because those are the only ones that really matter. Maybe mirror image. And I would probably, and those would be I wouldn't learn, like, fireball or whatever, because that's not my job as a ranger. Like, I don't need to do that. That will detract from the other things that I can and should be doing instead. So, and I think most people who try to go the other way and be a ranger who is casting fireball are probably going to find quite quickly that it just isn't very good. Like, it's not awful, but it's not great. But I think with Magical Insight, with this wording, should allow it to stack with Hunter's Mark, which is basically just a conditional doubling of Battle Insight damage. If, like, if you cast Hunter's Mark on someone and you hit them, realistically, you're going to hit them 4 times. Instead of doing 4d4 additional damage, you're doing 8d4 additional damage, which is an average of an extra 20 damage, which makes this very worth it. And then True Battle Insight, this should probably be consistent. Like, this should scale up to, like, this should scale up to, like, this damage here should scale up to a d6. I think, hang on, the additional damage granted by this feature increases as you gain ranger levels, increasing at 7th, 1d6. The additional, the die rolled as a part of the additional damage dealt by this feature increases as you gain ranger levels, increasing 7th and 15th. And then that can go like that. When you reach 15th level, increases to 1d8. And this ability here, like 9 times out of 10, doesn't do anything. Because, again, vulnerabilities, you would think they would be very prevalent in 5th edition, they are not. Like, if I have a quick look at the database, give me just a second. There are a grand total of 39 monsters with vulnerabilities of any kind in 5th edition, and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 of those are of CR 10 or higher. So by the time you get this, you're going to be fighting everything that's CR 10 and up, and your only option is an Undying Counselor, which is from Eberron, a Rakshasa, which is vulnerable to something, apparently, piercing from magic weapons wielded by good creatures. So that's actually fairly applicable here because you're using a longbow. A core spawn worm from which is from Wildmount, so that doesn't really count. A Mordekash, which is from Eberron. The Mummy Lord and the Zaratan are the only creatures from core official 5th edition like material above CR10. Oh, and also the Rakshasa. So there's 3 realistically. All the others are either from Ravnica, Eberron, or Wildmount. So yeah, this last ability here, like, I'm not sure what specifically you would change it to, but like shave all of that. Have inbuilt scaling for Battle Insight, which I've put in here. Obviously Magical Insight scales 2. And True Battle Insight could be, I don't know, you... Also, you can fail this. Once you have successfully analyzed a creature with this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, you cannot do so again until you complete a long rest. There we go. That should fix that. So True Battle Insight could be like a whole like laundry list of little things that you get when someone's under the effect of your Battle Insight. So like they can't become hidden from you for a round, you know, and you have advantage on your attack rolls against them, and something else, and that works quite well. So it could be something like creatures under the effects of your Battle Insight feature. The following penalties, and it could be like they cannot become hidden from you. This could be attack rolls made against them are made with advantage. Like that could be really substantial. Obviously it is 15th level, and by that point it's like AC has sort of become irrelevant, but it is still feasibly possible for you to miss a creature with like decent AC. You know, AC like 23, 24 at level 15, still very possible to miss that. But once you sort of crest like 17th level, missing an attack roll stops being a thing that's really even possible outside of a crit fail. Because people are getting like plus 15, plus 16, plus 17 to hit, where it's like, statistically speaking, I have like a 90% chance to hit every single time I roll to hit. So I don't know, some other like flavor ability here would be kind of neat. Maybe like their speed is halved, maybe, as they second guess their movements. No, that doesn't make any sense. Either way, have a toy around with this. What I've got here, probably works. It's not very exciting, but like it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't need to be. But I think this is like, I was very much expecting to go into this to be like, this is just going to be Monster Hunter, like the Monster Hunter class that already exists, but it isn't. It has like a unique identity, and I think it works quite well. But yeah, I think a lot of the abilities were like very, very low in power, like considerably. But this should make amends to that. I will send you this. It's probably going to come through as like raw. I will send you what I have written. It's going to come through as like just raw, like a gigantic block of text, but you should be able to like sort of pull everything out fairly easily. But yeah, no, I say there's some good stuff here. I like Battle Insight. I've seen people try to like represent it in a lot of different ways, and it usually doesn't work. Like, people just try and do it, and it just sucks. But this is cool. This is neat. But yeah, I would highly recommend the changes I've put through. Obviously, test it. Like, that's the big thing. Whatever version you use, test it. But I would recommend you use the wording I've put in. I think it's reasonably, at a glance at least, it's reasonably balanced, but regardless what you end up doing, nixing or changing, make sure you test it. And if any of your players pick it up, make them aware that you will be making changes to it if you need to. Because you do not want to have the experience of someone playing your class and you changing it and them throwing a hissy fit because you changed it. Because I've had that experience before, because the player just didn't clock in to like this is their homebrew. They're probably going to change it when it proves to be super broken. I've had that experience, and it's not fun. Having to wrestle with them over something that should just be, you tell them it's changed, and it's changed. But either way, I'm going to take a break now, because I need to go grab food. When I come back, I'm going to work more on... oh no, I went to the wrong fucking one again. There we go. But I'm going to work more on these. Probably going to establish whatever this group is here some more. That is the plan. But yeah, I'm going to go make food. Don't go anywhere unless you need to go somewhere. In which case, go to the place you need to go to. Don't sit around and do nothing. But I'll be back in 10 odd minutes. So yeah, I'll be back very shortly. It is me. I return. Hello. Okay. Okay. Right. Let us take a look at where we are at the moment. Mostly human. I think the customizable traps could be cool, but I'm going to sort of nix them for the time being, because they may not really add a huge amount. Oh. Right. I'm not entirely sure what my aim is now, because I kind of have these 5 kind of separate groups, one of which is very well established, the others are sort of more conceptual at the moment. I guess I could, like, come up with names and shit for them, but, like, is that really necessary? Not particularly. It's not necessary right now, at the very least. As to where I can go from here, I'm uncertain. There are a lot of things I very much could move into at the moment, but I don't want that to just be right to the adventure, because that's not going to be interesting to watch, and I have half an hour. I'm not going to get anything done in half an hour. Most of that half an hour would be me setting up and me talking and me, deciding what I want to do. And a writing stream would just be me just narrating the things that I'm writing. But, yeah, I don't know. It guards one of the 3 to level 2. I guess I'll probably write on my notes on the kinds of things that I want to do. So, various points in the adventure will have the characters encounter their antagonist, or at least their handiwork. The book aims to connect each encounter based on which antagonist is being used. Oh. I guess my sort of potential concern here, I suppose, is I don't know, is there a real concern here? Not really. I responded to at least one of them, unless you like whispered at me or something. Nope. Yeah, no, I said I did respond. The main thing about the different kinds of spells, like the different spells they get, that needs to be a sidebar. Like, right about basically the exact thing that you just said. Well, the exact thing you just said to me, but reworded to fit the tone of like a thing, so that someone can read that and understand why they can pick cleric, druid, or wizard. But yeah, that was the only thing of note I had to say, I think. Right. I mean, it got the idea across. Like, obviously, it would need to be reworded to sort of like fit the writing structure of something like the PHB. But like, it's a worthy explanation, and it does what it needs to do. It explains the thing I didn't understand. So, and gives potential character building options. To be like, what place do I come from? And obviously they can choose to ignore that sidebar as much as they want. But the fact that it's an option to give them something to think about outside of just picking the best option, which is wizard. Like just picking the best option every time. So yeah, like I think it works pretty good. Oh, it's gonna. Oh. I mean, I was explaining it whilst I was working on it. Is most people would never pick Fireball. Like, Fireball's a decent spell, but you're a ranger. Fireball is great and all. But if you've built your character right, why pick Fireball and do 8d6 damage in AoE when you can do like twice that to a single target? Like as a ranger. Like if it were me, I would pick Wizard and I would pick Shield, Misty Step, Haste, and Blink. And I don't know what the last one would be. I don't know. But those would be the ones I would pick. And taking Fireball for the meme is cool. But realistically, you're a martial class. You want to take things that support martialness, I guess. And being hasted and blinked sounds pretty good. Like all of your own accord. That's freedom movement. It's alright. Like I'm just talking about like must picks. Whatever the last one would be whatever I feel like. Whatever's like okay. And maybe I would take Fireball for the meme, but I probably would never use it. And I think a lot of people would be the same. Is you're a ranger, you don't really... By the time you get access to Fireball... Then again, it is Fireball, so it's not really been out-damaged at that point. Fireball is like a 5th level spell in a 3rd level package. But, even so... Like... By the time you get Fireball, you're actually going to be pretty good at shooting stuff. I mean, you are still a ranger, so like your base class has given you like nothing, but I don't know. There's there is a lot in it would be okay realistically if you have access to Misty Step. Why bother with Thunder Step? Misty Step is like the best spell in the game. That's the main thing there, is like I wouldn't pick Thunder Step because I'd already have Misty Step, and Misty Step's just better. Especially, like, any bonus action spell is immediately amazing on a martial character. Because it just is. That's why Sorcerer multiclass is, like, one of the funniest things you can do. If you take, like, 5 levels or so in Sorcerer, without the spell slots to support it, or the Necromancer wizard abilities, Anime Dead is a pretty bad spell. There's a lot of really cool spells that, like, when you like do the maths a bit and you're sort of like, oh, this spell is awful. Like, this is an active detriment to my character if I take this. And being a Necromancer in 5th edition just sucks. Like, most of the Necromancy spells are really, really bad. Create Undead is like a joke, and Anime Dead is not great. Dance Macabre is busted as hell. Yeah, Dance Macabre is insane. By the time you get it at 17th level, it's not that great, but Dance Macabre is the exception to the rule that Necromancy spells are bad, because Dance Macabre is insane. Like, Dance Macabre is so good. But yeah, that is kind of the sort of the main thing there, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of the spells, it's like, it's cool to have them. And then there are even more spells. Well, there's a select few spells where it's cool to have them, and they're also really, really good. And that would be the sweet spot I would be going for, were I to play this. Because I would take the aforementioned Shield, Haste, and Misty Step, 100%. It's okay. Yeah, and also the Paralysis, you'd have to be a melee ranger for Hold Person to really be worth it. That's assuming they don't already get it. It seems like something they would get. Oh, no. Druids do, though. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, the Paralysis auto-crit only works in melee, and sadly, most melee rangers are not very good. Unless you're Horizon Walker, then melee ranger is actually pretty good. But even then, still pretty bad. Because melee is, sadly, really, really bad in 5th edition. It's just not good. It's very sad that it's not good, but it just is not good. Like, if you were to tick down every single ranged weapon by 1 damage die, which, you know, I wouldn't do as somebody who... do rangers not get web? That seems really obtuse that they don't. Not even druids get web. This feels like Entangle, but worse. Like, I mean, I guess it's like an hour. This seems like a slightly better version of Entangle. But yeah, and I suppose I'll have a quick scan before I get back to it. But references, spells. Realistically, Entangle is inexplicably not a ranger spell. That's actually really funny. Yeah, that's alright. Spiritual weapon is not a bad one. I wouldn't say it was particularly great, but it's not bad. Let me just look at, like, cleric real quick. Aid's pretty decent. Healing word. Yeah, cleric's actually really good as well, because it gives you access to healing word, which is the best spell in the game. Yeah, cleric, you take, like, healing word. I mean, it's useful to have, but if your party doesn't already have a healer, then that's then it's worth taking. But otherwise, it's like, it's not particularly spectacular. But yeah, you take spiritual weapon, you take healing word, you probably take aid. What else do you take? Take mass healing word. That's it. That's hell. You probably take one over the other. All the higher level ones aren't really worth it. Oh no! You holy weapon yourself. No, that's the thing. You don't want to be wasting your action casting a spell that's way less impactful than you just shooting a dude 3 times. That's the thing. Is if you waste your action casting a spell as a martial character, you're doing it wrong. Obviously there are certain situations where it's worth it. Like if the spell is haste or like holy weapon or something, then it's worth it. But generally speaking, you get a hold of bonus action, all the good bonus action spells, which is, spoiler alert, almost all of the bonus action spells are really, really good because they're bonus actions. Like Misty Step and Healing Word are like probably the best spells in the game. I just flat out. Yeah, like if I were to pick cleric, I would take holy weapon 100%, healing word, spiritual weapon, maybe shield of faith, probably aid, and maybe like dispel magic, maybe, assuming rangers don't get it. Yeah, maybe dispel magic instead, but druid I think is going to be the weird one, because I don't think druid really gets any spells that are actually good. For they get healing word, so never mind, they're not bad. Automatically they're not bad, because they give ranger access to healing word. Nothing good at second level. Fairy Fire's not bad. Polymorph, pretty decent spell. Yeah, druid is definitely the weakest of the 3 though. Shadowblade. I'm not familiar with Shadowblade. I don't allow it in my home games for whatever reason. Presumably a reason. Throwing the Shadowblade seems very detrimental. Like, it's cool, but it seems... Yeah, you can only make 1 attack with the Shadowblade per turn. And was it? It's light. Well, I guess you could have like a short sword in one hand and the Shadowblade in the other. Throw the Shadowblade and then run at the dude and stab them a couple times. I guess, but I mean, well, yeah, exactly. That's why it's not very good. Because you want to use your bonus action to like Hunter's Mark and wait, is Shadowblade concentration? Oh, it is. Yeah, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. 100%. But Bestow Curse is a weird spell. I don't think it's very good, but I don't really know anything about it. To my knowledge, it's not very good though. It's concentration, so that's a bad start. Because rangers rely on Hunter's Mark to be useful. which is I mean, ignoring the fact that that's horrible design. Bestow Curse can act like an actively very bad Hunter's Mark in the right scenario. If they fail the save, it does more damage than Hunter's Mark, but it is necrotic damage, which can be resisted and immuned, and, you know, it's a save. So, yeah. It's, I wouldn't... Yeah, Bestow Curse, probably not worth it. Is that a thing? I mean, you have to wait until 17th level to do that. And even then they still have to, like, fail a save. So I'd still say it's not worth it. But there is a potential for some cool stuff there. But, like, do I cast Hunter's Mark, or do I cast this 5th level spell that if the target fails the saving throw, I don't have to concentrate on it? And it's slightly better than Hunter's Mark. Except you can move Hunter's Mark and you can't move Bestow Curse, so it's like, you know, regardless of how it checks out, it does seem like notably a lot worse than Hunter's Mark. But either way, I should probably continue working on this. I need to get going in about 10 minutes or so. I mean, Legend Lore is a neat spell, but it's not of any, like, real use to you. Like, if you have no more spells you want to take and you're 17th level, then go right ahead. Legend Lore's a cool spell, but it's you know, like, flavor picking spells is fine, but only if you don't have, like, better things you could be taking, generally speaking. Obviously, not everybody is really cares about having a super optimal character, but most people, you know, your average player who doesn't think about character optimization is at the very least not going to like the idea of, like, just kind of, like, sucking in every fight. But there are some players who just actively do not give a shit about that, and that's fair enough. I dropped something on the floor. But, okay, right, let's have a look at these notes a bit. Yeah, I think... I'm not sure, but this may be the last time I stream this for a while. Because I think I'm going to go away and, like, start writing things. I think is probably what I'm going to be doing. Like, this month, I have, like, a number of things I need to be doing. Working on some homebrew stuff for my home games. I'm going to be releasing an update for the archive, which is, like, my main sort of DM's Guild product. Big spell compendium, there's like 160 spells in there. And it's the first thing I released, and it's the most successful thing I've ever released as well. And I'm proud of it, but there's some jank, there's some weird bullshit in there that needs to be, like, ironed out, and that's gonna be, like, a big thing I do this month, is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna, like, divvy up that book into segments, and I'll probably do one of them this week, actually. That could actually be something quite interesting to stream. That may end up being what I do on Wednesday, actually, because I've promised myself an extra streaming day this week, because I'm only running, like, I'm not running many games this week, unlike usually where I'm running, like, a minimum of 3. I'm only running 2 this week, and I was initially only running 1. So on Wednesday, I may well stream me updating the archive and all the spells in it. That's not a guarantee, but I have a feeling that's going to be what I do. Because there is some weird jank in the archive. There's some cool shit in there as well, don't get me wrong. But there is some weird, like, janky bullshit in there that I want to try and, like, surgically remove wherever possible. But, yeah, that may end up being what I do, I think. And then on Friday, I'll stream some. I'll stream some Magic, most likely. And then Sunday I'll play some more Pokemon, because I'm having a good time with Platinum. Platinum's fucking incredible. Such a good game. I think from an objective standpoint, Platinum is the best game in the franchise by a country mile. It's not my personal favourite, but it's very, very good. That aside, I think I'm going to probably sign off in a couple of minutes. I'll probably just sit around and chat for 5 minutes. I might switch over to the old webcam only. How awful does that look? Reasonably awful, but you know, whatever. Who fucking cares? I can understand complaining about audio quality, because that can cause you physical pain if it's that bad. But camera quality, who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you can hear what I'm saying and see me, doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. I'll probably get myself a nice fancy webcam at some point, but now is not that time. In case you can't tell, I run things on the cheap here. This is duct tape. But yeah, I'm actually gonna like update my schedule like right now with the old stream idea, because I think that's forcing myself to stream things I'm not particularly excited to do is a great way to get me to work. I've done like, certainly on the homebrew streams, it's been like very often it's been like, what is something I need to do at some point that I haven't been bothered, like I haven't yet been bothered to make time for? Oh, this is what we're going to stream today. Because I always end up having fun with it, because it's fun doing things on stream, but I'm just a lazy piece of shit and I never make the time for the things I actually need to do. Right. Edit schedule, there we go. I need to like go in and do that. Yeah. I'm hoping to at some point make time to stream more. Or to be on other people's streams more as well, because I was on Finn the Bin's like Commander stream and I had such a good time with that. That was so much fun. Like even though like I barely got to play any Commander, it was actually really good fun. Right. Wednesday, do I want to stream in the afternoon? No, I'm going to stream in the evening. I'm not going to go for 4 hours. No, Christ. I want to like actually like sleep at some point. Jesus. Dungeons and Dragons. It's very rare I do 2 homebrew streams in a week. But yeah, 7 p.m. GMT on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing that. On Friday, 7 p.m. GMT, I'll be playing some Magic, I'll be playing some Kaldheim, because I have a very fun deck that I want to play the shit out of. And then on Sunday, I'll be playing Pokemon for a period of time, and I'll probably do something else afterwards. Whatever that ends up being, I have no idea. I know on the homebrew streams I want to do another full class rework, and I know what class I'm doing next. I'm gonna do Paladin, because I'm gonna take that piece of shit and I'm gonna rip it to shreds and put it back together. I would say I'm gonna Frankenstein a new Paladin, but that implies I'm gonna use different pieces. I'm gonna pull it apart and put it back together. And slap a fresh coat of paint on it. And put the engine in the boot. Maybe. I don't know. Trying to come up with an analogy for how I'm going to edit something is challenging. But whatever. Doesn't matter. I should probably head off now, though. I'm going to see if there's anyone to raid. Is there anyone to raid? No. Rip. But yeah, say if you've all enjoyed yourselves, go, follow, sub if you want. I guess it feels weird pressuring people into paying money. That seems pretty cringe to me. But so yeah, don't feel the need to do that. I don't like asking people to do that. No, don't like that. But if you can go, check out my guild stuff. That I don't mind asking people, because they get something tangible out of it. They're commerce. You pay money and you receive something, whereas subbing is just a gesture more than anything else, and I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest. I don't particularly understand it, but it is what it is. Well, there's something that's definitely free. You follow me on Twitter, if you want. I'll slap it in here. See this? I fucking hate doing promos. I swear to God. I'll become a fucking self-aggrandizing piece of shit at some point, no doubt. But for now, doing promos makes me actively very uncomfortable, and I dislike it tremendously. I hate it. But other people doing it is fine. I just fucking hate doing it. So yeah, it's my Twitter. I'm gonna go now, because God, I hate promo and my shit. I fucking hate it. Okay, right. Hopefully you see some of you on Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whatever. I'm gonna head off now. Probably should have ended the stream there instead of just pausing. So I'm gonna do now. Bye.